Thanks for tuning in this week to the Catch, Hold, and Release series. I have 9 verdicts for you today, the Charizard EX, Eeveelution promos, and more. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the PokeTicker. Let's see what the market's telling us. First up, obviously, is the Charizard EX from 151. You can see in the last month, not too much movement, off maybe just a percent. However, if you look at the last year, you can see up 30%, but it really peaked back in the spring at about 500 and then again in the summer. And it's now back down all the way under 400 with a market price of about 375. Current listings are all the way down in the 350, 355 range before you get back up to that market price. So the card continues to come down, even though 151 product will probably start moving in the opposite direction going forward as the set rotates out. If we take a look here too at the eBay last solds, you can see 1427 just yesterday, 1435, 1400, 1350, 1514, so right around that 1400 price. I also wanted to take a look at the collector so we can see the last year for PSA 10s. You can see here it spiked all the way up at almost $1,900 back in March at that $500 peak for the raw card as well. And then it's slowly been coming back down and continuing to come down. They don't have it all the way down to that 1400 range, but 1450 right here. Earlier in the year, it was about 900. If you're looking to pick this up, it could be a really good time. It will not come all the way back down here to 900. If you feel like waiting, that's okay too. It's still moving in that direction, but I would start thinking about it if you haven't bought it yet. As I'm sure you could tell based on what I suggested for the PSA 10, raw card is also a catch. At 376 off a $500 peak, this is definitely a good time to pick it up. As I said, the set's rotating out. There will not be a lot of new copies put out there. If you've been waiting to get this card, now is a really good time to pick it up. The next 3 cards I'm going to go over pretty quickly. They're the Flareon, Jolteon, and Vaporeon V Alt Art promo cards from the Sword and Shield block. All of them are moving very similarly. They kind of move together. The Flareon's first up. You can see it's pretty even. Not a lot of sales in the last month. Market price of about $80, which isn't too bad. However, if you look at the last year, it's up 54, 55%. But it's really started to level out here at the top. And obviously, these have not been printed in a long time. If you've been waiting, so I would start thinking about it now. These are only going to go up from here. There's not a lot of room for more dip before you buy. You can see here in the market prices, it's right in line with that $80. As I mentioned on the TCG graph, this is definitely a catch. These are only going to go up. These are beautiful cards. They had a decent print run to start off, but I don't believe they got much reprints or additional product put out there once they were out there. So there won't be a lot more opportunity to pick up these cards. So Flareon is definitely a catch. Next up is the Vaporeon. This is also a really beautiful card, of about 7% in the last month. However, in the last year, it's pretty even. It peaked at about $92 all the way back at the fall of last year, and is now back at about $92, $93 now. If you got it picked up here in the $50 to $60 range, you're feeling really good. But if you didn't, now is probably your last chance to get it before it starts going way up. All the market copies are right in that $90 range. Just like the Flareon, the Vaporeon V is also a catch. It's up 7% in the last month, like I said. However, this is only going to continue to go up. If you missed the dip over the last 6 to 8 months or so, sorry you missed out, but now would be a really good time to pick it up. And then lastly, we have the Jolteon V here. This one has a market price of $76. Last month, not a lot moved or sold, but you could see it's up a little bit. However, in the last year, up 21%. Just like the Flareon and the Vaporeon, it dipped way down here in the springtime for a few months, and then it's popped way back up, and it's now off its peak a little bit. You could scroll down. Market price is a little under what they have, about where they have it. And just like the other 2 cards, obviously a catch. These all have an upward trajectory, so they're only going to get more expensive. They're becoming more and more limited. The other really good thing to know about these is their PSA 10 populations are very low for modern. Under, I believe, 1,400 copies for all of them, and the gem rates are all in the teens. If you can find a really good copy, it may be worth grading, but these are way more limited. They go together well with the other Sword and Shield Alt Arts, especially the Eeveelutions. If you have a chance to pick them up, do it before it's too late. Of course, I couldn't mention the promo cards without mentioning the boxes they came in. These are all 3, the Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. The Eeveelution VMAX Premium Collection, as it was called. In the last year, they're up 34, 35%. You can see the market price is at $938. I have it on the year because with the month only one like copy of these 3 boxes was sold, quote unquote. But you can see it quickly goes way up. 900 here for one, and then all the way up to 1250, 1400, and into the 2000s. This is going up very quickly. It's only going to continue to move up. I actually have it opposite. I have it selling these. It's a little bit ridiculous so that the prices that they're coming in now. If you went to the individual boxes on TCG Player, you would see the market price is 400 and up for each one individually. So 939 is actually really good for all three, but it quickly gets up into that 4-figure range. And the cards that come in them are only worth, or at least the promo cards are only worth combined between the VMAX and the V about $160 to $200. So the fact that the boxes are twice as expensive, if this is something you have, it could be a really good time to sell and move into other things, especially if you opened or have the cards in your collection. Some good packs in there too, but the promo cards are definitely what you want in these. And the fact that they're so expensive, you're paying a premium for it, doesn't make it worth it. It's only going to continue to go up and you'll get a better and better price. I also wanted to talk about the Umbreon V from Evolving Skies. Fits right in with those other Vs. Last month it's pretty even, only 1%. Market price is $392 here. However, if we look at the last year, you can see it really spiked in the fall of last year, all the way up to almost $700. Dipped down, and now it's really flattening out here. It kind of an interesting trend, not usually what you see. You see big spikes, you see it come down, and then you see it spike back up. So the fact that it's still sitting down here in a very low spot is kind of interesting. Market price is right in line with what's up there, maybe a little below in the 380s, 385s. If you go look at last sold on eBay too, it's about $1,000, $1,200, $1,275, $1,200. Accepted under 15, or excuse me, 1150 here. So they're all right in line with that price. Just like the Charizard EX, I wanted to check out the PSA 10 here. You could see it peaked back there in the fall, just like with the raw card, up to about 1100. Came back down and really stayed down for a little bit before peaking again very recently up to about 1350. And now we're in a little bit of a lull. You could get it even for under $1,000 recently. It's coming back up a little bit. Just keep that in mind if you were looking for the PSA 10. However, the raw card is definitely a catch. As I showed, it's kind of an interesting trajectory where it peaked way up in the fall last year to $700. It's almost 35-40% down from that peak, which is interesting, and has really remained pretty stagnant or pretty even since then. I would pick it up before it starts to spike, especially with all the Eeveelutions that are getting the focus and the Umbreon card coming out in the 30th anniversary. You want to get it before this card sees an additional spike. Next is another card from 151, the Pikachu IR. I love this card. It has the Arcanine in there, Nidoran, Psyduck hiding with Gengar. A lot of fun Pokemon in the background. You can see in the last month it's down about 6%. Over the last year, though, it's up 91, pretty decent amount. Market price at 86. And then if you scroll down here, you could see that all the cards that are going on sale are actually under that, so closer to $80 than the 86 up here. This is a hold, but it's toeing that line. $86, $87 market price, but all the sales are closer to $80, so it looks like it's still coming down a little bit. If you picked it up, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but I think if you waited a little bit longer, you can get it for $10 less, so 10-12% less than what the current market price is. However, you won't have that much time because this is the 151 set, super popular, rotating out of print. Just make sure if you wait, you don't wait too long. Now we have the Zekrom EX SIR from Black Bolt. Last month, pretty even, about 2% up. Market price a little under $290. If you look at the last year, though, it's up 44%. It dipped all the way down here to under $200 in the early part of the year. And I've noticed some content creators have started to kind of pump this card up. I saw several who are like, I'm buying every copy I can get because it's a tougher pool. The gem rate isn't that high. And I think that's kind of led to this increase here. You can really see too the volume has gone down as the price has gone up, and so it's starting to flatten out up here. The listings are right in line with that market price though, 281, 282, getting up to 290s. Because of that, I say you take advantage of what is happening right now with that increase. Definitely sell it. You can move that money into getting something from the 30th anniversary or in other cards that you've been looking for. Personally, I think the Eeveelutions, the Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon will do better in the long run than this card, especially if you were looking to get them graded. This is definitely a release. And then lastly for this week is the Gengar Mimikyu GX from Team Up. This is the regular art, not the alt art or rainbow or anything like that. In the last month, it's up about 7%. Market price a little under 380. In the last year, you could see a straight up trajectory with this one little exception, which is most likely an error here. We don't too often see lines that are always going straight up for this amount of time. There's usually bigger dips and spikes, so that's a little interesting. If you scroll down here, you get to 340, 345, 350, and then up to 400 pretty quickly. Because of that, I would definitely sell this if you have it, if it's not something that you want to keep in your collection. Nobody thought that this would be the more popular card, even though the alt art is more expensive. I've seen a lot of people actually like this card more because of the moon and the Mimikyu sitting on the background versus just the dark background of that alt art. And over the last several months, Gengar's had a nice big jump in price for the majority of their cards. It's a good time to take advantage of that price bump. And if you were looking to sell this, now is a really great time. Thanks again for watching. It's a really interesting time in Pokemon. Modern all seems to be coming down while vintage and mid-era stuff seems to be going up. Because of that, a lot of the cheaper cards from the current era are all coming down. A lot of the cards from before are going up. And it's making for an interesting mix for these verdicts. Let me know if you agree with any of the things I've said, if you're trying to pick up any of those cards. Otherwise, I'll see you on next week's video.